Festiwal w Berlinie ma się już ku końcowi, a my zdążyliśmy jeszcze porozmawiać z Gretą Gerwig, gwiazdą najnowszego filmu Noah Baumbacha Frances H. Posłuchajcie rozmowy z aktorką. You wrote the screenplay with Noah. How did it come about? How did you start to work together? And how did you work together?
Well, you want to hold it? Should
Yeah,
I? Okay,
I will
okay,
hold
okay,
it,
okay. Sorry, I'm going to hold your hand while I do this. I started. Noah had the idea of doing a film that was very stripped down, and that he would shoot in black and white. We'd worked together on Greenberg, and then he said, "Well, would you be interested in writing something with me, and maybe you write a part that you could play?" I put together like a list of ideas, and then I sent it to Noah, and then he got very excited and said, "Yes, I'd love to do this. This is great. I have all these other ideas that go with your ideas." And we just started writing scenes, and then out of the scenes, the character of Frances emerged.
There are also your parents starring in the movie, am I right?
Yeah.
As Frances' parents,
Yes.
Is it a personal project for you?
It's very personal. I mean, it's not strictly autobiographical. There are some autobiographical elements, but I mean, the use of my parents was really just more that I knew I wanted to shoot in Sacramento, which is where I grew up. And then at that point it was like, well, Mom and Dad, you don't really have to say any lines. Would you just do it? And then we were like, actually, you do have some lines later in a phone call, but you can do it later. But they were pretty reluctant at first, and then they warmed up to it. But it's hard. You don't want to feel like you're exploiting your own life, but at the same time, there's something really special about using something that's quite personal to you, and as long as the people who are involved feel comfortable with it, then I think I always like that when I see that in films, so it felt like a nice thing to put in.
In Frances Ha, there's this great scene, one among many, where Frances speaks about her ideal love. Yeah. And she makes these funny faces, rolls her eyes, etc., etc. Yeah. And how do you do it? Do you do it consciously, or do you work instinctively as an actress?
I've gotten more conscious about it. I think I started out being quite instinctive, and I was doing a lot of improv work when I started out. But now, I mean, this movie is so scripted, and every word was written exactly the way we wanted it said. So I've become much more aware, actually, of the malleability of my own face, and I exploit it. I can't. I mean, I think I move my face a lot when I talk anyway. I could never have Botox. It would be terrible because everybody would know, first of all, because I would stop being able to move my face. So I think especially with Frances, as she's trying to struggle to explain herself, it's almost like the contortions of her face are the expression of her inability to communicate. And so I'm aware of it, but then every time when you see it, you're like, God, I really moved my face.
What's very interesting about the movie is the fact that there's no romantic goal for Frances. Was it a conscious decision on your part?
We didn't set out to make a celibate character, but I think once we realized that we were doing that, we got kind of excited about it. Like, there's no romance or sex in this movie, and there's no real acknowledgement of a lack of romance or sex. And I think it was kind of exciting that just emerged, because it means that we don't have an instinct that the only stories to tell about women are love stories, that there are other stories to tell about women. And I think it's nice that happened naturally and not as like a political statement, that's just naturally the story of the characters, not a manifesto.
Most actors probably dream about starring in Woody Allen's films, yeah, which you did. Do you have any other actors' dreams?
Oh, I do. I'd like to be in a Mike Leigh film. I'd like to be in a film by the Dardenne brothers. I don't know if you know them. They're awesome. Yeah. I'd like to be in an Apichatpong film. I'd like to be, I can keep going, I've got a lot of them. To be in a Coen Brothers film. I mean, basically, actually something I discovered though is because I wanted to be in a Woody Allen film, but I love directors, obviously. I'm a big director. I want to be in a Claire Denis film. I'm just going to keep naming directors, but I realized I used to think it was just because I wanted to act for them, and then I realized it's because I wanted to be them. I wanted to be a director. So I think the bigger goal for me is in the next few years I'd like to direct my own movies that I've written, and obviously working with Noah has been a huge inspiration, and watching him is makes me really want to do it even more.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.